Suppose government has issued notification with respect to recruitment in public services, and relying on that lakhs of applicants have applied, and in the midway the government is changing the eligibility criteria. So, what would be the fate of those applicants who have applied? The Supreme Court in the year 2024, and that too it is a constitutional bench, that is 5-judge bench, it has said that such eligibility criteria in the recruitment process cannot be changed midway. So, today we are going to understand how this judgment is relevant for our present issue of various states, where several states have issued notifications for the recruitment of civil judges, and where they said that 3-year mandatory practice was not required. But whereas the Supreme Court, the same issue is pending and it has been reserved for judgment. So, let us understand whether this judgment, the constitutional bench judgment, makes any kind of impact on the present recruitment processes. Let this judgment, the outcome could be anything, but whether this is applicable, whether this holds good for the present recruitment process, what does the law says? So, let us understand that. So, welcome to our YouTube channel Abhijna Legal Maps, and myself Aparna Bhat. So, let us understand this with the help of a pictorial diagram. See here, as we all know, several high courts have notified civil judge recruitments, junior civil judge, it could be called by different names, but they have issued notifications. So, when that is the case, several applicants have also applied here. But meanwhile, in the Supreme Court, in the case All India Judges Association and Others versus Union of India. So, the case number is writ petition civil 1022/1989, which is clubbed with many other writs. So, their hearing was going on with respect to whether 3 years mandatory practice should be made eligible criteria for those civil judge applicants who want to become civil judges, because the advocacy is important, they need to have practice, they need to have the practical knowledge. So, these were the to and for and against agreements, to and for arguments which have been heard in Supreme Court, and later the Supreme Court has reserved its judgment. Okay. So, when judgment is reserved, the first impact was on the Gujarat. So, Supreme Court has directly stayed the Gujarat recruitment process. Meanwhile, other high courts also, they have stalled their recruitment process. Okay. It could be in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Chhattisgarh. So many students of, so many applicants of these states are affected by the judgment. So, suppose if judgment gives it says that mandatory 3-year practice should be made, like 3-year practice has to be made mandatory, okay, or it may say that 3-year mandatory practice is not required, or it may also say that 2 years is required, 1 year is required. So, the outcome could be anything, but what about the fate of these applicants who have applied in these issued notifications? What will happen to them? So, whether this will be directly affecting them? So, that is the question. So, when that is the case, we can rely upon, okay, there is one judgment which we can say, that is Tej Prakash Pathak versus High Court of Rajasthan. The date of decision is on 7/11/2024. So, you can see this is the constitutional bench. Bench strength is 5. So, we have 5 judges who have given this decision, that is D.Y. Chandrachud, Hrishikesh Roy, P.S. Narasimha, Pankaj Mittal and Justice Manoj Mishra. So, all these justices, they have given judgment in this, and you can also see the citation here. So, what does it say actually? The basic thing is the rules of the game must not be changed midway or after the game has been played. So, to understand this in a better manner, let us think that suppose in a cricket, there is a rule that if match, like there is a tie, there is a tie between the both the teams, then they have to play a super over. In that, whoever will win, he is the winner. But in the midway, if this is the IPL season, so many matches have been already played, somewhere in the midway, if they change the rule saying that let us not make 1 over, 1 super over, let us consider best of 3 super overs, what will happen? So, those who have lost in the earlier 1 super over, they may be agitated, right. So, likewise, so they can say that this was not there earlier, this was not there earlier. So, even the same case applies to the career also. If originally they had asked for 55%, in the midway only, before the completion of the selection process only, if they change the eligibility criteria as 60%, then what is the fate of him, right. So, that is why they say changing rules midway is unfair, it can't be done, it could be cricket or career, right. So, this is a general principle, but if we have to apply the legal principles, several the principle of legitimate expectation, that we can apply. So, basically in the selection process, so these are all they have been explained in the Tej Prakash judgment, which you can refer. So, basically in public service recruitment, there are two stages. Okay. The first stage is the process of being placed in the selection list, or how a person is being selected. Selected means he is being shortlisted for the process of the appointment. He is not even appointed, but he is shortlisted among the other applicants. And the other case is that the next step is that the process of being appointed from the selection list. So, first of all, there are two stages where a person will be, he has to be placed in the selection list. Out of this selection list, he has to be finally appointed as a judge, right. So, till here, what is it called? It is said to be right to be placed in the select list. Okay. Later, out of the select list, if a person has to be appointed, that is said to be right to be appointed from the select list. So, understand the difference. So, this is selection list. To be placed in the selection list, we have different eligibility criteria, right. He must be citizen of India, he must have 55%, he must be a lawyer, he must have no need of being the, no need of having the practice. So, such eligibility criteria could be there. But in this case, what could be from the selection list or after the prelims or after the mains, some cutoff will be there. Out of those cutoff, how will this person be interviewed and how will be selected as a judge? There, the terms are open ended. In the notification also, they would not give exactly, right. There, it is upon the competent authority, they can select. Even if it was 65% also, they can choose only the person having 75% as the who is having the minimum marks. So, that is what we can say. See here, see the Tej Prakash Pathak and others. So, this is the constitutional judge bench. Before, the facts of this case are, earlier this was said to be 3-judge bench, but later for some clarification it was sought for 5-judge bench. So, what happened actually in this case? This is with respect to Rajasthan recruitment. Okay, Rajasthan High Court, it had some rules with respect to the recruitment of the High Court staff. So, originally the rule was in 2002, but later it was again amended 2004, 2009, every time it was amended regarding marks or qualification, it was being amended continuously. Now, the recruitment notification was in 2009, okay, for the post of the translators. Later, exam also was held on 19/12/2009. In that exam, 21 candidates applied. Okay, they wrote the exam, 21 candidates wrote the exam, and out of those 21 candidates, only 3 candidates were successful. Why was this so? Because later Chief Justice, he had ordered that only those who had secured 75%, they are eligible to be appointed. That is why out of 21 candidates, only 3 were successful. So, this was challenged. So, this was, they consider it as they are changing the process in the midway. So, that is why they challenged in the writ petition, but writ petition in the High Court, they said that the employer can set the benchmark. The employer is having the right to set the benchmark, saying that only distinct persons having distinction, they can qualify, they can be appointed. Okay. So, again as the writ petition was dismissed in the High Court, they again challenged in the challenge before the 3-judge bench. That is what Tej Prakash case says that. But in Tej Prakash case, some other cases were also considered. The earlier precedents were considered, that is Manjushri. So, we can see that here. So, they said that we need more clarification on this judgment. So, it was referred to the 5-judge bench. So, this was before constitutional bench. right. So, this is what we are going to understand. What does this case say all about? Yes. So, this was the case with respect to, this was the case with respect to Rajasthan High Court as a High Court staff recruitment process. So, there this was not clear. They said that they were relying on this, but they said that this case was not properly considered because this case was not considered here. So, some confusions were there, but in this case they held that this is a different case and this is a different case. This is a case where the right to get the right to be in the select list, right to be in the selection list, and this is regarding right to get appointed, in the selected list. So, here this is regarding appointment. Okay. So, we also have one judgment in which it says that Sankarshan Das, this is also constitutional bench, you do not have indefeasible right to be appointed. Okay. See, there are 50 vacancies in the notification. Out of 50 vacancies, they are appointing, the appointing authorities appointing only 10 persons, 10 judges. So, you cannot claim it as a right, you cannot challenge that saying that 40 persons are not appointed, I would be one of the appointed person. So, please appoint other 40 persons also, you cannot compel them. So, to appoint this, they can make certain changes. So, in this you can make changes while appointing. So, when they are already in the selection list, from out of the selection list if they have to be appointed, then such eligibility, such criteria could be changed. But the basic right to be placed in the selection list, because if I am not I do not have 3-year practice, then earlier I thought because of the notification I could get appointed in, I could get placed in selection list, but due to some changes which were made, now I may not be having the right to be in the selected list at all. So, if they wanted to make such rule, they would have made earlier than the issuing of the recruitment process. But in the midway, during the process of the recruitment, they cannot do so. So, that was the case, that was the rule which was laid down in this case. Okay? So, that is what it says. So, here when this process, here eligibility criteria cannot be changed, but here some benchmark they can set, some minimum marks they can keep for being final stage, they can for the appointment of such persons, right. So, whereas if we have to relate this 3-year mandatory practice to this situation, now most of the state governments, state high courts, they have only issued notification, still even preliminary exam is also not yet done, right. Some like it could be in the processing stage of application. When that is the case, if this judgment is applied, then probably I say, this is my opinion, okay, probably this year recruitment process may not be changed. It could be the same irrespective of what Supreme Court judgment in All India Association says. It may not vary because already they have issued notification and several applicants have applied. But we cannot say this is a very 100% rule, we cannot say. It is also subject to certain exceptions, unless the rules itself permit changing in midway, or unless the advertisement permit for changing in the midway. Till then, still even if they permit also, it should not be arbitrary, it should not violate Article 14. Okay. So, 90% chances are there that the present notification, present recruitment, whatever has been done, they may not be affected. Once a judgment is given by the Supreme Court, it may be applicable prospectively, it may not be applicable retrospectively, but unless some exceptional circumstances which could arise, which we cannot predict at this stage, unless till then we can safely think that we can rely on the examination. We can think that this is just my opinion, okay, based on the 2024 Constitutional Bench judgment, based on the principles which have been given in that judgment. The opinion is it's only my opinion, so do not consider as a Supreme Court judgment what I am saying now. I am saying the principles which have been mentioned in Supreme Court. So that is why my opinion is that this year recruitment process may not be affected 90%, okay, unless some exceptions are there, as like every rule has some exceptions. So we cannot rule out 100% saying that this year it can't be affected, but some chances are there, some hopes are there saying that this may not be affected. So this judgment, it was also relied by various decisions, okay. So the ultimate judgment is this, the operative portion. So recruitment process, this is Tej Prakash judgment, this is the ruling of Tej Prakash judgment. Recruitment process commences from the issuance of the advertisement calling for applications and ends with filing up of vacancies, right. So when this recruitment process is there, so eligibility criteria for being placed in the select list. So we are all, whatever this 3-year mandatory practice is there, I hope we can consider that as coming under this category. That is, this is the eligibility criteria for being placed in the select list. So notified at the commencement of the recruitment process, it cannot be changed midway through the recruitment process unless the extant rules so permit or the advertisement which is not contrary to the extant rules so permit. Even if such change is permissible, so even if the rules are also allowing such change in the midway, it should not be arbitrary, it should not violate Article 14. Okay. The same case was relied in the recent case also, that is it's Prabjot Kaur versus State of Punjab and others. You can see the Supreme Court website only, and it's also it is to be reportable. It is published in the SSC Times also. It is regarding the recruitment of DSP post for SC sports, for that category the case was. So even they relied on Tej Prakash case, you may refer that, and they say that eligibility criteria declared by fresh advertisement cannot be changed midway through recruitment process. So this is the ratio what we can find in this judgment. I hope for those who are under confusion whether to study or not, what will be the fate, whether we have to study for UPSC, KPSC exam and leave this judicial exam preparation in midway. So do not think like that. At least there is some ray of hope which has been delivered by the Constitutional Bench in the year 2024 only. So let's see what happens, because there are different possibilities which may arise. Hopingly this year recruitment process, the present recruitment process of various states should not be affected by this. So I would like to conclude, and also I would like to state that Abhijna law series, we have an app, Abhijna law series, and we have different study material which is available, and it is also in the form of chart. 3 new criminal laws have been in the form of chart. So our books are also available in Amazon. You can type Aparna Bhat notes, the search you can find, or else Amazon store link we have given in the description also, so you can check them. Presently we have Kannada courses for judiciary exam, but very recently, like very soon, we are going to launch English courses also, which will be beneficial for most of you. So this is all about today's class. So I would like to conclude that. Let's hope for the best, and if you haven't subscribed this YouTube channel, do subscribe and share it among your friends, so that even let them be aware of this public service recruitment process, like what can be changed and what cannot be changed, right? Yes. So thank you all of you, and if you have any suggestions or comments, you are free to comment in the comment section, and if you have any doubts, you can contact us at the contact number 9036201870. So thank you for your patient listening. See you in the next video. Thank you. Namaste.